Do you feel like you have control over your life? And would you like to? So when we look at why we feel out of control over our life, it's typically because we're trying to or would like to control things that we can't. So anything outside of ourselves, anything anyone else is doing, saying, situations, work, relationships, literally anything that's going on outside of our body is not within our control. And why do we want to control that? So if you look at what would be different if this thing, situation, person changed, what would that mean for me? And it always comes down to how we'd like to feel. So if you're feeling anxious, angry, stressed, and you're likely feeling that because you're focusing on some situation, a reminder of a past experience, something. So the belief is, I will feel better, I will feel more at ease, or I can not feel stressed once this thing changes. And it's the biggest setup. And most of us buy into that until we know there's another way. So I wanted to make this video to really bring up this topic that we can take our power back, so to speak. We just need to look at, what can I control? And the honest answer is very little. We can't control most anything in the world. We can control what we put our focus on. How does that feel? Do I like that? Is it serving me well, right? We can ask these questions to get some clarity. Like, how's it working out for me? We just don't often, we're not taught. And for me, it came about with lots and lots of struggle. I'm like, why isn't this working? And thinking there was something wrong with me. There must be something wrong with me that this stuff keeps happening. But it's no one's fault. It's just here to help us learn. So if we look at this from that different perspective, what is this here to help me learn? Is there another way that I can see this situation? And another aspect often is we take things personally. What someone says or does, or assumptions we make, we encounter these every day. But if we could focus more inward on how we're feeling and how can I create a shift? Maybe you've heard about raising your vibration. And it's not about just walking around being positive. Because I think we need to be real with what we're feeling. But I don't think we need to be controlled by it or like being a victim of what we feel. But we can learn how to naturally shift it. Not by shutting things down. So if I'm really angry and I don't want to feel angry, I can go, oh, okay. I mean, one of the ways that I think is the less ideal way to deal with that is to just push it down and just get distracted without even acknowledging it. And I teach tools that I use with my clients where, how do we really deal with these feelings? Now, we're not always in the position in the moment to be dealing with them, especially if we're at work and stuff, but at some time during the day, like a longer check-in and using the tools. I teach tapping and heart coherence and, meditations and whatever it takes to be with what we feel. Like, what's this about? And loving ourselves through it instead of just, well, I don't like the way that feels, so I'll just go ahead and change it. You can do that. And sometimes that is what we really need to do in that moment. But long term, there's just so many options, and we don't have to be at the whim of things going on outside of us. But if we can be conscious about, what am I focusing on? How's that working for me? And if I don't think it's working well, then what are my options? And that is a much more empowering place than focusing outside of ourselves, blaming other people, situations. Look at what's going on in the world. You can get caught up in all that, but you don't have to. There's always another option, even if you can't see that right now. I promise that there is. But we have to get out of our head. And that's why I use and teach the heart coherence tool, because it's amazing what happens. If you can just generate loving feelings that emanate from your heart, that can fill up your whole body, and sending that up to your mind to create some calm, quieting that ego, which I'll talk more about in other videos. It's amazing what you can experience on the side of well-being and calm and happiness and appreciation and things like that. So I hope this was helpful. Feel free to reach out with any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.